everybody, I'm HMR Prisons and welcome to my Zen in 10 video series designed to get you back to your Zen in just 10 minutes. This is your beginners part 2. This is going to explain a little bit more about some of those names you may have heard in your practice, but you're not quite sure what they actually mean or if you're doing it correctly. Let's have a little look. So, we've explored our downward facing dog, our warrior 1 and our warrior 2 and our child's pose. We're going to have a little look at this so-called Chatturanga now. So quite often, from our downward facing dog, we will come forward into a plank, or sometimes vice versa. And the teacher will say Chatturanga, up dog, or Cobra. So holding the plank, we want to push the floor away from us. So we want to hollow out the chest a little bit. Tuck the tailbone under, okay? No bum, not big bum, not sticking the bum up, but making the bum little and small, tucking it under. Okay, so for beginners, I would say option 1 would be to place down the knees. Starting to build up your upper body strength, bit by bit. So by bringing the knees down, tuck the tailbone, lean forward, try to keep your elbows over your wrists as you lower your chest down, okay? What we want to avoid is bringing the elbows behind the wrists. So if you look here, doing this, actually film yourself and have a look where your elbow placement is to your wrists. You want to lean forward, keep the elbows on the wrists as you come down. Try and come down slowly in one piece rather than flopping down. Now you are on your belly, you want to come into your low cobra. So you're going to lift up your chest using your core. Okay, so I always tell my beginners, lift the hands off the floor, because there's always somebody that doesn't realise they're doing it with their hands and they're pushing up really high. Oh, look at me. And then I say, take your hands off, and they go, look. Okay, so it is core and back strengthening. It's not about how high you get. It's about engaging. It's about strengthening your body, low cobra is. Keep the chin drawing down. Keep the elbows drawing in. Shoulder blades squeezing together. Tops of the feet pressing down to the ground. We'll hold this for 2 more breaths. And then exhale, push back. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Now we're going to try that again. Roll forward into your plank. So your plank is your perfect position from downward facing dog. You don't need to move your hands or your feet. Okay, so that was our option 1. Option 2 is you've worked with option 1 for a while, you're strong, you can lower your whole body down, same applies, elbows stay on top of the wrists. Lower yourself down in one piece without flopping. Okay, so this is your option 2. Then into your low cobra, or maybe you can push up a little bit higher into a bigger cobra, working towards upward facing dog. So for me, the difference I believe is cobra is more of a strengthening pose. If you're looking to strengthen your core, you're doing yoga for a bit more strength, I would do low cobra every time. Okay? If you need a bit more of a stretch, then you can push through the arms. So you're strengthening the arms a little bit, but this is creating more of a stretch. Okay, so if you're doing yoga more for flexibility, then maybe you can kind of use this option. Downward facing dog. And then we have the last option, Chatturanga into upward facing dog. Coming forward into your plank. Chatturanga is like the movement of coming down and then you lift up. Okay, so Chatturanga Dandasana is the movement of lowering down. So this is your lower plank, Chatturanga. And then upward facing dog, you lift up the chest, flip the toes over, push into the hands, push into the ground, lift up the chest. And if you want to put that whole vinyasa together, you come forward into plank, pose 1, Chatturanga, pose 2, upward facing dog, pose 3. Exhale, downward facing dog, pose 4. Okay, bring the knees down a sec, take a little rest. So it's important to work with whatever stage you are at, okay? Let's not get the ego involved and we're maybe in a yoga class with our friends or whatever, you see everyone doing it and you want to do it. That's fine, that's normal, okay, to want to do what everyone else is doing, but it's very important that we listen to our bodies and our own ability, because I see it so much. Teachers whipping through the class super fast, the students are trying to keep up, and there's rotator cuff injuries left, right and centre. It is one of the most common injuries in yoga, the supraspinatus, the rotator cuff, the shoulder injury from these chaturangas. If I'm feeling tired or if my shoulders are aching, I'll bring my knees down and I'll work with what my body is able to do. It's very, very difficult. Yes, it's fantastic. It strengthens your shoulders as well for arm balances, for handstands, for the whole progression in the asana practice. But it's also, if done wrong, it can really, really hurt yourself. And these injuries take years, months, years to heal, okay? And that's often we see people doing this and they dip forward into the shoulder, it overstretches the supraspinatus, the elbows up, the shoulders down, and they go up, and they have no second thoughts about it. But after a few months, that will start to show. So it is really important actually if you film yourself doing this, because actually when I filmed myself and I saw myself doing it, I was like, I'm actually doing it like that. And myself, I had to actually critique myself. We can't see what we're doing unless we are watching it objectively. And you know, if you go to some of these yoga classes, you've got like 30, 40 people, the teacher can't stop everybody individually, okay? If I see enough people doing it, the majority of my class doing it, I'll stop the flow and we'll practice it. But for just 1 or 2 people, it's just, you know, it's your responsibility to also take accountability for your body. So let's just try that. Let's try those 3 options one more time. Come forward into your plank. Bring the knees down. Lean forward. Engage the core. Lower down slowly. Squeeze the elbows in. Push into the floor as you're lowering down. Landing in one piece. Low cobra. Downward facing dog. Option 2. Let's come forward into our plank. Push against the floor. Suck the navel in. Tuck the tailbone. Lean forward a little bit more and then lower your body down in one piece into your low cobra, or maybe stretching up into a slightly higher cobra, keeping those shoulders relaxed. Exhale, downward facing dog. So it's okay to have a go, but if it's something that you're not able to do, then in your general practice, please work with the option that is most beneficial but slightly challenging for you. Inhale, come forward into your plank. Exhale, slowly lower halfway down. Squeeze the elbows in, body in a nice straight line. Flip over the toes, lift up the chest, upward facing dog. The knees don't touch the ground, just the hands and the tops of the feet. Lift the knees up, push into the floor. Exhale, downward facing dog. Then you can bring your knees down to the ground and take your child's pose, Balasana. Thank you for joining me today, everyone. I hope you found this useful. Please be accountable for your body in your practice. Maybe even film yourself, check your own alignment, and most of all, just enjoy yourself and be careful. If you found any of this information useful, please do drop me a little comment in the comments below or share to somebody that also might find it useful. Thank you so much. Namaste. Have a great day.